Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a long-term market analysis update for Apecoin. I really want to discuss this most recent move where we deviated below the previous low set back here in June. I want to talk about some resistance areas, and I will discuss this on both the daily and the weekly timeframes. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below. I am fairly active over there if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. So I do want to start off here on the daily time frame and recap on what happened here around this level right around $3.06. Now, this was the previous low that we bounced off of back here in the middle of June. On our first capitulation, this massive drop resulted in a correction of about 45% in just the following 4 to 5 days. And that was a very key pivot point in which Apecoin had this big bounce and rally off of. And again, we have had a retest of that level, briefly visiting below that level and making new all-time lows. However, the bears were unable to flip this zone back into resistance. So when we did get that retest, Apecoin was able to break back above this, reclaim it, and since then we have started to rally to the next extremely important level. And that is this zone I have marked out in red, ranging from $4.16 all the way up to $4.33. Now, the reason we're going to be focusing on this level is because we can see going back earlier on in this year, when Apecoin was able to break back above this after that correction, it flipped it right into support. And we bounced off this level several times. So we had that bounce right here in July, retested it right here in September, again, more retests throughout October, and then eventually in the beginning of November, we had that final retest before breaking down. And over the last few days, you can see that is the level that has started to slow down this pretty big rally that we saw off those lows, and we're having that retest as of right now. So it's going to be very important to focus on this level into the next few days and the next few weeks to see how Apecoin responds and reacts to this level. Currently, there are some initial signs of a rejection, but there is no real confirmation yet. So we're going to have to wait and see, again, how this plays out. I will say, though, if we do start to consolidate here and build a little bit more of a base and start to cool off this rally, that will be a little bit better of a sign for me that we might start to gear up for another leg up. And if we're able to reclaim this level and flip it back into support, like we did on this previous all-time low, or again around $3.06, and just as an illustration, that would look something like this, where we can start to break it back above it and hold it sustainably. If we do get this move, that is going to be a very bullish sign that I will start to look for as evidence that we might be starting to head back up to some of these lower highs, going back here to the November high at $5.30, the high from back here in September at $6.30, and then eventually this high from August all the way up around $7.70. So that's sort of the structure we've got going. You can see that downtrend of the higher lows. So if we're able to reclaim this level, we might start to target and break that downtrend structure. And that's exactly what I'm going to be watching out for into the next few weeks. So I also do want to talk about the weekly time frame for Apecoin, and I just want to remove all of these drawings so we can get a pretty clear look at the 10-week simple moving average, which is this yellow line. Now that has capped the upside on the weekly chart ever since we've lost it back here in August. And again, you can see this level has been acting as very strong resistance. A lot of sellers are starting to offer some supply into this zone. Over the last few months, we can see all these weekly candles coming up to the 10-bar average and then eventually rejecting and turning over. And this weekly candle, although it is not yet closed, we have had that retest of the 10-week moving average coming up all the way to this level, and the 10-week average lies around $4.26. So we have had that retest once again. So over the next few days, watch to see how the weekly closes. And similar to my thoughts on the daily chart, if we're able to break back above this level of resistance, I think that's going to be a very strong sign that we might be starting to end this decline and we might be starting to see a different trend play out, as opposed to this very clear and defined downtrend with all of these lower highs coming up, forming resistance off of valuations that were previous support. So if we're able to break back above that 10-bar average, that will be a bullish sign I will be watching out for, especially if we're able to reclaim some of those levels on the daily chart. If we're rejecting off of this, I wouldn't expect anything different than the previous attempts where we just sort of consolidated and oscillated sideways, potentially formed some very slight lower lows. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.